All right. When we talk about the two words, surface area and volume, okay? And today, specifically, we are going to talk about a rectangular prism, okay? Now, why is this called a rectangular prism? Well, what shape does it look like? A rectangle. And prism means it is how many dimensions? 3D. Three-dimensional rectangle. It's a rectangular prism. Now, this one is also technically a rectangular prism. What's another name for this? A cube, because it is, what is each side? A square. But think the reason this is also a rectangular prism, what is our definition of rectangle? Do we remember from back in what, February? Rectangle. What makes something a rectangle? That is true about a rectangle, but that's not what makes it a rectangle. The opposite sides are the same, that is true, but there's one specific thing we cared about on a rectangle. I'm giving you guys a hint. Angles. 4 right angles, right? So, while this is a square, what made it a square? What had to be true about a square? What? Sorry. Well, the angles are right angles, but also, what do we know about the sides? The same sides, right? So, you are correct. It is 4 right angles also. That's why technically it's a rectangle, but it's also a square, right? So we would probably call this a cube, but anyway, this is a rectangular prism. Now, everyone looking here, okay, focusing up here. Let's look away from our phones, guys. All right, look as I unroll this, okay? Surface area. Surface area just means, think about all the surfaces. So how many surfaces does this have? 6. There's 1, 2, 3, and then the back, and then there's the 2 sides, right? So if we take the area of each of those and we add it all up, that is our surface area. Now, how can we figure that out? Well, on every rectangular prism, you're going to have 2 parts that we call the bases. Now, what is the base? They're just 2 ends that are parallel to each other. So a prism here, this first blank, it has 2 congruent parallel bases. Okay. Notice it says they're parallel. They run beside each other. Okay. And these 2 bases, we have the area of those. So for the surface area here, if we are trying to find the surface area of our prism, and this one's called a right prism because there are right angles, right? So I'm going to put SA for surface area equals, it's 2B. B stands for the area of the base. That takes care of these 2 parts. Now, to figure out the rest of it, we still need this chunk, right? This big chunk. So everyone looking right here, what do we call this? The length around the edge of something. What is the word for that? No. It's not area, it's the other one. Starts with a P. Perimeter, right? So area would be how much it is, right? Perimeter is the length around the edge. So if you look at this, the length around the edge, if I unroll this or unfold it, do you see how that will be the same as this distance? And then the space from one base to the other, we call that the height, okay? So it'll be 2b plus ph. Now, initially you still might be a little confused. That's okay. Now, one thing I want to point out about height for prisms. Height, usually what do we think of as height meaning? How tall? Up and down, right? If I have it here and these are my 2 bases, the height is up and down. But what if I turn this on its side? If I still call these the 2 bases, guess what? Now the height is the distance from one base to the other, okay? Height does not always have to be up and down. But here's the other thing. Someone might use the top and bottom as their base. Someone else might use left and right as their base. Someone else might use front and back as their base. There are 3 options for your bases. The key is whatever you start with, be consistent throughout, okay? All right, so finally then, the second one, volume. When I say volume, what does that mean? How much it holds. So if we have this, all right, So if we say how much can this hold, how much water, if I'm trying to fill this up with water, if you think about it, this is the area of the base, right? If I would stack that up, you can play with it if you want. If we would stack that up, whatever the area of the base is times the what's up and down there, height times the height. Now maybe I turn it outside, it's still times the height. That's the distance from one base to the other. Okay, so yeah. All right, so for volume, it's volume equals the area of the base times the height. Okay, so if you're still a little confused, that's okay. Let's try to examine this first rectangular prism here. So letter A here. So I'll leave those for a second. So take a look at this first one, rectangular prism. Okay, our job is to choose first, where do we want our base to be? So it is our choice. When you guys look at this, where do you think of as the base? Which side? Okay, I saw you point to the bottom, right? You were saying down here. Now, if we use that as the base, that's fine. There's one other base. We said the two bases are parallel. So what side is the top? Okay. Now, I heard you say 8. 8 will be part of it, but the one thing we need to remember, anytime we have a base, it's not just one side. It's two of the sides that make up that side. Like, okay, I guess I should be careful what I say. It's not just one measurement, right? Because a base has two different sides. Now, in this case, it's a square, so it'd be the same. In our case, 7 and 8, so it's not the same. Okay. Now, the first thing we need to do, once we've decided these are our bases, that means what is the height? 12, the one you didn't use, right? So the first thing I need to do, let's find the area of the base. So the area of the base, how do I find the area of a rectangle? Do we remember? Length times width. So our two sides, who cares which one's the length, which one's the width? Just 7 times 8, right? Or 8 times 7. What do we get? Uh-oh. 56, thank you. All right, now, this is area. We've stressed this. What does area mean for our label? It has to be squared. Anytime it's area, feet squared. If you're wondering why, remember, area, if I lay this flat, if something is flat, how many dimensions do we say it has?
Wouldn't be one dimension.
One dimensional would just be like a line. It's actually 2D. So if you go to the movies and just see a normal movie, it's in 2D, right? It shows up and down and then left and right. Okay, so this is 2D. So it's two-dimensional. So the label will be feet squared. So we're jumping ahead a little bit, but you already told me, what do we say about the volume? It'll be cubed because it is, you told me, 3D, right? You said that earlier. So 3D and it's cubed, okay? But, okay, so that's our area of our base. So it's our surface area is 2 times the area of the base, okay, plus the perimeter. Now, how do I find the perimeter of that right up here? So add them up. So 7 plus 8, is that all the sides? No, what do I know this side also is? 7 and this side? So 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8, or 7 plus 8 times 2. Either choice, okay? Either way. So to find the perimeter, I'll fit this in here. It's the 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8. And what do we get? Wait, I think you forgot a 7. So 7 plus 8 is what? 15. What's 15 times 2? 30. Yep. Now, will that one be feet or feet squared or feet cubed? Just feet, because it's a distance, right? Okay, that's our perimeter. And what did we already say our height was? 12. Okay, so we've got it set up. Now we need to follow PEMDAS. Do you guys remember PEMDAS? What happens first? Do we add or multiply? Multiply. PEMDAS. A is at the end, right? So multiply. What's 2 times 56? 112. Good. What is 30 times 12? And if you're stuck on that, what's 3 times 12? 36. Then there's a 0, right? So 360. Okay. And we're almost done. We add them together. The last step then, so 472, don't leave it by itself, right? Let's label it. And what did we say? If it's surface area, it is always squared, okay? Now, in this case, it is feet, but it's feet squared, okay? And now the volume, once you know that, the volume's really easy. Look at your formula for volume. We just need the area of the base times what? The height. So our area of our base, we said, was 56. What was our height? 12. What's 56 times 12? And if you don't know, that's fine. Use a calculator. 672. Thank you, Luis. And don't forget, what did we say about this one? Feet cubed. Good. All right, letter B here at the bottom. I saw several people had it right. There are 3 options for your base. So I don't care which one you make your base. Isaiah, where did you make your base? Top, bottom, left, right, up, or front and back, or which? Left and right? Okay. So you mean like right here? 5 and 6. And then not only is it that one, there's also one on the other side, right? Okay. Now, that is fine. If you make your base 5 and 6, that means that your height has to be the 10, right? Even though height, in this case, how I did it, goes left to right. But that is the distance from one base to the other. Someone else might have done 10 and 5. If that's the case, your height would be 6, right? So, based on how he did 5 and 6, the area of the base equals 5 times 6. What's that give us? 30. And what's our label again? It's inches, but squared. Good. Yep. All right. Now, don't forget, when we find our perimeter, we need 5 plus 6. What else do I need? Polaris, Mason, come on, focus. What? Well, no, we're finding just the perimeter. Yeah, so what are they? Same thing. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 6. What does that all give us? What? 30. No, 5 times 6 is 30, but 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 6 is 22. All right, your area of your base is 30, but your perimeter of your base is 22. All right, so 2 times 30 plus 22 times 10. 2 times 30 is 60. 22 times 10 is 220. We add them together and we get 280. If you did it with different numbers, or a different order, that's fine. You should have still got 280. Okay? As I was coming around, it looked like several of you had that already. Okay? Now, volume, remember, it's just 30 times the height, which is 10 in this case. And we get 300. All right. On the back, we can do C or we can skip it. It's pretty much the same. Did you have a question? Sorry. Okay. Anyone want to see it? I'm probably going to skip it unless someone really would like to see it. Okay. I'm going to do the last one then. What is different about letter D? Okay, there's a variable, and what did they give us instead of all 3 sides? The volume. We already know the volume. Now, first thing we need to do is decide which side is my base. And there are 3 correct answers. You choose what you are using as your base. So, Lindsay, your choice. Do you want it to be the top and the bottom, the front and the back, or the left and the right?
The top and the bottom.
Okay, so That would be up here, and then the other one, you can't really see it, but it'd be like down there, right? And which two sides are part of that? So what I mean by that, which of these 25x7, which two are part of those bases that she chose? 25 and the x. Yep. The 7 means, what's the 7 then? The height. Good. So the 25 and the x. So for my formula for the area of the base, it's 25 times x. I'll just put 25x because I don't know what x is, right? Now, we know the height, then, if you want, you can write h equals 7. So our formula for volume, remember, volume equals base times height. Okay? So volume equals base times height. Well, guess what? We said the volume is 525. They gave us that, right? We just said the area of our base was, what was it? Do we have 25x, right? Okay. And the height was 7. All right. So let's go ahead and divide to solve this. We want to solve for x. So you can solve this a couple ways, but I'll just start off. If we divide that by 25, what's 525 divided by 25? And if you can't do it in your head, use a calculator. That's fine. 21. Okay, so we get 21 equals x times 7, or I'm just going to write it as 7x. The final answer will be 3 because we'll divide again. And x equals 3. All right, now that answers the first part. Now it asks us to also find the surface area. So let's go back and think about our area of our base. If x is 3 right here, what does that make the area of the base? $75. We just multiply 25 times 3, 75 inches squared. Right? Our height is still 7. Now we also need our perimeter of the base. What's the perimeter? So 25 plus 3 plus 25 plus 3, what do we get? 56, good. You can set it on my desk for me. Thanks, Angel. All right, so surface area equals 2 times the 75 plus the perimeter times the height, which was 7. All right, 2 times 75 is 150. 7 times 56, 392. We add them together. 542. What do I need to make sure? What's my label? Inches. Yeah, I'm not as worried about that, but the key is squared, right? Also, I forgot to label my number, or the x. What was the x label? Was it inches squared, or inches cubed? It's actually just inches. I know that volume is cubed, but do you see how x just represents one length, right? So it's just going to be inches. All right, that is it. So go ahead, sign in. There's a few to practice. There's some visuals on the delta.